Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another edition of True Picks, where we talk about everything that's happening and everything that's going to be happening in the world of the NFL. There's a lot to get to, and what we're taking a little bit of a pause because we want to focus on the games. And when I say the games, it's really just one. And when we talk about this game, it is the game of all games, the one that puts the marker at the end of the season. We're talking about the Super Bowl, and when I say we, of course, I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about Chase Oliver throwing up the wrist. We're gonna get to
Pro Bowl QB.
we're gonna get to the Pro Bowl and the coaches hiring and new coaches being hired in addition to the ones that already have. We're gonna be getting to all of that next week. But this week we want to focus on the Super Bowl. You saw in the thumbnail, you saw in the preview just there. It is the Patriots. It is the Seahawks. The Patriots were on a somewhat unpredictable roller coaster in the playoffs because nobody knew like whether they were going to be facing a good team with a competent offense in any of the weeks. It turned out like you could make an argument that the Chargers were the best offense that they faced in the playoffs.
Hey, first place MVP vote getter Justin Herbert in the Chargers.
Okay. All right.
He wasn't in the finals. Got a vote
next week. Save it for next. You know what? Okay, actually, speaking of which, like I was telling you before we went live, I looked back at last year's episode to figure out what how we assigned the teams, and one of the things we covered was the NFL honors, and so I was going over who got DPOY and like who got the votes. And you lost your mind when you found out that Jonathan Grenard got one vote. I remember that.
The defensive tackle, for Vikings, right? I was like,
well, there you go. This year it's Justin Herbert getting the one vote for
tossing Drake May an MVP trophy.
But the Patriots, a lot of people did not have them doing this well coming into the season. But Mike Vrabel saw the vision. Mike Vrabel said he's going to take this team and figure a way to get them to the Super Bowl. And he did it off of the back of a very, very good defense, a quarterback that could throw the ball and run the ball against teams, regardless of they face the competition that they face. And off the back of, you face the schedule. And off of the back down the road of a sensational rookie running back in Travion Henderson supporting Ramondre Stevenson. And they seem locked and loaded and ready. Like Vrabel, at the very least, that Vrabel's bringing them ready to go. But on the flip side, on the other side of the coin, these Seattle Seahawks are nasty. This is a nasty, nasty defense. And this is a nasty, nasty offense, almost to the point that if you guys were watching all these weeks, Chase was picking against Seattle simply because he was like, at some point, Sam Darnold, the wheels got to come off. The wheels got to come off. And Sam Darnold said, maybe, but not this week. And lo and behold, the Seattle Seahawks, like, sure, you can argue that the Cardinals are a albatross, not a cardinal, but a different kind of bird, an albatross around the neck of the NFC West. But that NFC West is ridiculously competitive. Sent 3 teams to the playoffs. Any one of those 3 could have been the 1 seed for the entire conference. And Seattle ends up coming out with the NFC Championship, with the George Halas Trophy, and they're going to be representing the NFC side of things. So before we get into the assignment of the team and the arguments, how do you feel just in general about this Super Bowl? Like, what's your level of excitement for it?
7 out of 10. I think it's an interesting Super Bowl. Like, it obviously there's no sexy name, there's no Josh Allen, there's no it's like the sexiness is not there, but I kind of like that, parity is not consistent in the NFL. I mean, it's been if you look at the Patriots, you'll say, oh, well, it's the Patriots again. And yes, it is the fucking Patriots again, but it's not Tom Brady back there. It's Drake May back there. Sure. So both these teams also had long shots of making it to the Super Bowl. If you were a sicko and you put money on the Patriots making the Super Bowl, congratulations, cash your plus 10,000 bet that they made the Super Bowl. And the Seahawks were plus 6,000 to make the Super Bowl at the start of the season. So craziness of these two teams making it. If you were a sicko and you believed in them, look, I said I thought the Patriots were going to do well above expectations because Vrabel's a great head coach, and they did. The Seahawks, I wasn't so high on because, hey, look, it's Sam Darnold. You know, he crashed out in a playoff game. Not the case. And then Mike McDonald, he's just a defensive wizard, and he just has this great defense that kind of reminds me of the LOB days of the Seattle Seahawks. If you're the Seahawks, you're like, you know, it's not really Legion of Boom, but it's kind of crazy. And both teams are kind of built the same way, brought in some veteran players to help bolster up this roster and make it better and make them what they are, Super Bowl contenders. And honestly, it's one of those Super Bowls that's like very interesting. We either crown pretty much another face in the NFL and Drake May. We crown him second year winning the Super Bowl. He's now going to be one of the faces of the NFL. Or we start questioning, how do you determine how to pay a franchise quarterback? Like, do you have to overpay for franchise quarterback? Yeah. Or can you wait and see, like, can these guys develop? Because Sam Darnold, let's be real, everyone thought was a bust. No one had any hope for this guy. Failed with the Jets, failed with the Panthers with fellow draft mate Baker Mayfield, sits behind on the 49ers and doesn't really see any run whatsoever. Goes to the Vikings, and just because J.J. McCarthy got hurt, really got his opportunity and had a career resurgence, and everyone was like, you know, KOC did it. Oh, he's throwing to Justin Jefferson. Oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then here's Sam Darnold now, you know, from that 2018 class that has Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and we can forget about Josh Rosen, but all those three names, he's in the Super Bowl. He has a chance to win a Super Bowl before Josh Allen, who's going to be due like $50 million a year, Lamar Jackson, $50 million a year, and Baker, who's around like the same pay rate of Sam Darnold. So now we're going to have to question, how do you pay a franchise quarterback now? How do you develop these franchise quarterbacks? Like, do you stay patient with what you have in a quarterback? Because you never know what can happen. Like Fernando Mendoza could suck for the first 4 years, and then all of a sudden he goes to a team and it's like, holy shit, he becomes good. Who knows? So yeah. Sam Darnold, it's going to be a very interesting, like, because dude, like, you know how much glazing Jalen Hurts got after he won Super Bowl? Top five court. Are we going to do the same shit with Sam Darnold? Are we really going to sit here and be like, Sam Darnold, top five? Like, it happens when the quarterback wins a Super Bowl. We overrate the quarterback. We really do.
To your point about the ability to wait a little bit longer on franchise quarterbacks, look at Houston right now. Houston has to decide whether or not they're going to stick with CJ Stroud. And the thing is that CJ Stroud, if he's going to stick in Houston, is going to look at them and be like, yeah, but I want $50 million.
Yeah.
And so that's the issue, right? Like, Darnold, you could afford for the Seahawks right now. And Darnold's not, $30 million is nothing to laugh at, right? Even with Baker making $30 million. Yeah. But it's not 50. Like, that $20 million is a lot of money.
That $20 million, what can that get you? An edge rusher like DeMarcus Lawrence on your team, which the Seahawks have. They have a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence who is that helps you keep a Leonard Williams on your roster. That helps you keep a key player on your roster. That extra $20 million, like that's a lot of money you save because you're not giving it to one of the premier positions in football in the quarterback, and it's like.
So you have to, like, if you're the CJ Strouds of the world, like, you got to take a step back and say to yourselves, have I really earned it? Now, in this specific instance, there's an art, like, I have a feeling CJ Stroud would say that he has, because this is the same guy that made himself a top 5 quarterback. So, like, I get it. He's probably not the level of humility that's required to make that kind of sacrifice. But if you're one of these quarterbacks, you got to look at it and go, hey, Tom Brady took team-friendly deals. Peyton Manning took team-friendly deals. They were able to win. Now, because at the end of the day, if there's one thing that these two teams have proved, and we all talk about narratives and whatnot, it's that all you have to do is get to the dance. Because any one of these weeks, when they played the Chargers, the Texans, or even the Stidham-led Broncos, 2 weeks ago. The Patriots could have lost, but they didn't. They got to the dance, and then it was a week-to-week kind of thing. For Seattle, it felt more comfortable until like that Rams game, that like what was going to happen, their ability to play or to succeed. But still, it is you got to the dance, and to get to the dance, to your point, sometimes you got to be a little bit cheaper. What allowed the Patriots to do what they did is Drake May being on the rookie deal. So I like how you're looking at it from this narrative perspective. The idea of, are we crowning the NFL's next superstar, or are we rewriting the book on what it means to be a franchise quarterback? It's a very interesting.
Yeah, if Sam Darnold wins, it's kind of like, yeah, he's a franchise quarterback. Like we can't not say he isn't. Like he is a franchise quarterback. Every wins a Super Bowl. We can't call him a stopgap or bridge quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback.
And one of our ride or dies here in the comments always, Davion. He's been with his Seahawks since day one. Yeah, and look at this, man. Look at this. You're playing for a Lombardi. What a time to be alive.
Go out there and get chip number 2, man.
Yeah, I mean, do it. Like, why not? This is really going to be an interesting. What it sort of reminds me of, and maybe it's a way to try to spin some kind of cool narrative, because we're not getting a Chiefs or a Bills or a bank or a Ravens, like one of those big teams. And on the flip side, we're having to deal with Sam Darnold, who's not like a media darling kind of quarterback. But it reminds me of the conversations that were just being had in baseball with, like, does there really need to be a redesign of the salary cap if the Dodgers are able to continue just doing all these things that they're doing? So, like, there's that, like, but like the same way that was a narrative around that World Series, there's this narrative around this Super Bowl. And if you're like the team building wonks kind of guy, like the team building nerd kind of guys like you and myself, that it's interesting, right? Like that's how you can look at it. And then
because if you look at it, if you're a team if you're a team that has, like, you feel like you have the roster, all you got to do is like maybe get like a Daniel Jones type quarterback and say like, hey, I can build an offense around you.
Yeah,
let's go. I'll pay you this. That's how much you want. Awesome. And then who knows what happens, right? Like either it works or it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's like it could end up working out. And now the Seahawks have Sam Darnold on this incredible deal. And by the time it's to pay Sam Darnold an extension, they're not going to pay it. They're going to be like, all right, buddy, we ain't going to give you this extension. Like maybe they'll do this. They will give him like an extra 2 years, but that extra 2 years will just be a bonus for winning the Super Bowl type of gimmick.
I mean, so like right now he signed a 3-year deal. His cap hit this year is 14 mil. His cap hit next year is 36, and then his cap hit in the third year is 42. Let's say it's 41.9. But the out is after the 2026 season. So if you think you want to maybe trade him and your first round pick to move up to get a quarterback, like let's just say, like, there are ways to pull it off. Yeah. But and we're not getting into a lot of the news because we're going to focus on the Super Bowl. But you and I are going to be talking about how high of a jump in the salary cap it was, and think about this. It's going to be $41 million, $42 million of a cap hit in 27. How high is the salary cap going to have moved up by then?
And then by then, these quarterbacks going to make $70 million a year.
It may be a very affordable contract in 2027, a $42 million quarterback. We shall see. But let's figure this out. We're going to do the same concept that we did last year. What?
I said disgusting.
Where we're going to flip a coin, and that will assign who has to argue or who has to defend each specific team. So last year, what we did was heads was the home team, tails was the away team. We will follow that. But last year the way we did it was you were the one who had to get, in essence, you were assigned the team, and then I took the other team. Do you want to do that same thing, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll get assigned the team. I'll trust my faith in the coin.
Trust his faith in the coin. All right, ready. So heads, because it's the home team, is the Patriots. Away Tails is the Seahawks. You got the Patriots.
All right.
You got the Patriots. All right. Well, let's hold on. Let me do this and add to the spring up just to show you. The Patriots are currently plus 188. It's a fairly tight line. To give credit to give credit where it's due, it is a fairly tight line. And on FanDuel, the over under and the
isn't it like 42.5 or 44.5, something like that?
So the over under is 45.5.
Okay, they moved it up. It was 44.5 last I checked.
And the spread is plus 4.5 for the Patriots.
Yeah, 4.5. I got that. I got that bet locked. 4.5. I like it. Not for the Patriots, but for the Hawks. But
so you got Seattle minus 4.5.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you all my super bets once we're done.
Yeah, they haven't put the player props up yet, which is a little sad, but
really.
Anyway.
I got some props.
They've got stuff like, do you think somebody's going to break records? Like, do you think somebody's going to record 506 plus passing yards, 216 plus receiving yards, like all that kind of stuff? But they don't have like individual player props up yet.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, probably tomorrow. I mean, I have to assume tomorrow. But all right, sir. Patriots.
The New England Patriots are in the Super Bowl once again. This time with number 10, Drake May at quarterback. And they're going against a really, really tough Seattle Seahawks defense. So how is the offense, which has had offensive line issues, going to figure this out? Well, guess what, guys? They have one of the best offensive coordinators in the game, Josh McDaniels. This dude knows how to scheme guys wide open. And I see Josh McDaniels finding a way to get this aggressive Seahawks defense off balance. And I think he's just going to have some nice little screenplays. He's going to find ways to get guys open, and he's going to get a Mac Hollins, a Stephon Diggs, a Kayshon Boutte wide open, and not score touchdowns, but get them open. I think they're going to use the tight ends to their advantage, use those big boys and Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper to attack the middle of that Seahawks defense. And I think TreVeyon Henderson, he's been quiet these last few games. He's been really, really quiet, but I do think that TreVeyon Henderson is due for one of those big-time TreVeyon Henderson games. So I do feel TreVeyon Henderson and the speed that he brings to the table, I do think that TreVeyon Henderson has the ability to change this game. And then the Super Bowl MVP for the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson. I think Stevenson is going to have a James White type of game. Of course, Drake May will get all the credit because he's a quarterback and stuff. But I do think Ramondre Stevenson, for what he brings and running between the tackles and his pass catching ability, is going to be a little bit too much for the Seahawks defense to handle. And Drake May, one thing about this guy, he's not afraid to throw the ball deep. This guy led the league in yards per attempt when it comes to passing, best in QB rating. This guy does not make a lot of mistakes with the football. And that's where I think it's going to be the Patriots' advantage of offense, is that Drake May is not going to make mistakes. There's not going to be turnovers for Drake May and the New England Patriots on offense. And I think Drake May, his feet have been showing him good success, and the Seahawks are going to be keyed in on his feet, unlike most other teams. And that will lead those middle of the field to be wide open because they're going to have a spy on Drake May. And instead of that guy being in a nice little coverage, he's paying attention to Drake May, and Drake May is going to loop some passes over the middle, which will be leaving it wide open for the New England Patriots. But I don't think they're going to score a lot of touchdowns, but I think they're going to chew clock, take advantage, keep that Seattle offense on the side of on the sideline as much as possible. And it's because of Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels knows what he's doing. Now, defensively.
Hold on. Before you go, I don't mean to interrupt, but I did see, because you just brought him up, a crazy stat. Josh McDaniels has been involved in 10 out of the 60 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels, legend. Greatest OC ever. Greatest OC ever. Knows how to scheme open. Now, defensively, the Patriots, they run their scheme based off who they are going against. Now, Seattle, one thing that they have is a really strong offensive line. Abraham Lucas came back, and he's a really, really good offensive tackle. Or Charles Cross. I mean, Abraham Lucas has been there. Charles Cross came back, and he's a really good left tackle. So that's the one thing. The Patriots, they like to sub their edge rushers out. You know, they have two guys that are more pass rushers, and they have two guys that are more run stuffers. They'll take Milton Williams sometimes out, and that could lead for the open running lanes for Kenneth Walker and stuff. But what I think the Patriots are going to do is kind of similar with what they did with the Chargers, where they ran this really unique like coverage drop defense that kind of confused the Chargers and kind of confused what Greg Roman wanted to do with his scheme. I think Kubiak's scheme is kind of very similar to what Greg Roman wants to run, and especially with certain screen passes. I think that the Patriots will have a good time, just like blanketing the field, making it a little bit confusing for Darnold. I don't think they're going to be able to take JSN out the game. I think that's the one thing, no matter what I say, I cannot discredit that JSN's a beast and that JSN is just going to, I don't care if Christian Gonzalez is on JSN, it doesn't matter because JSN most of the time will be on, an older Carlton Banks. But that's the one thing about this Patriots team. They have a bunch of this defense, Milton Williams, Carlton Banks, guys that have won. They have guys that Vrabel brought over from Tennessee that know how to run Vrabel's defense. They're just a good, sound, disciplined defense. Now, turnovers, hit or miss when it comes to the turnover aspect. So that's my one concern with this defense. Can they force turnovers out of Darnold? Can they confuse Darnold enough to throw some turnovers and get the ball and back into Drake May's hands and that offense and let Josh McDaniel chew some clock? Like that's my one concern with this defense. But I do feel like this defense does have the skills to slow down Kenneth Walker. And as long as they can just make sure they don't give up any game-changing plays to like Jake Bobo, to AJ Varner, to Rashid Shaheed, as long as they can maintain those guys, and if they just let JSN go wild, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, you're like, no, you want Jack Smith and Jig, but no, you worry about JSN when he's in the red zone. The rest of the time on the field, it is what it is. If the Seattle has to settle for 3 every time, because I don't think Mike McDonald, and Clint Kubiak are that aggressive. I think they will kick the field goal every single time. And in this sport, 7 is greater than 3. So that's where I think that's what's going to hurt the Seahawks is that sometimes Mike McDonald, he's not as aggressive as he should be on 4th down. And I think early in the game, the Patriots will get nice stops on the Seahawks. Seahawks will just settle for 3 while the Patriots get the touchdowns. They're not going to settle for 3s. Vrabel knows what this is. I mean, this guy said he would cut off his own dick for the Super Bowl. So I think the Patriots have a great shot to win this Super Bowl. I think Vrabel is going to cut off his own dick and go for it on 4th down. Like Dan Campbell, crazy. You're going to see a lot of very, very aggressive Patriot way, but give me one game, and I trust the coaching staff of the Patriots over this coaching staff over the Seahawks, where I think the Patriots can scheme a way to win this football game.
That is you got a lot of good points there, bud. You really do.
Yeah. Notice I did not mention Sam Darnold sucking once. I just said that they forced Sam Darnold.
That's true. I
did not say it because they're playing Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold's due for a sucky game. I said if they can confuse Sam Darnold and force turnovers, and I mentioned that they're not really the best at forcing turnovers like that, but if they can, it will help them. So, mission accomplished. I didn't use the Darnold card.
All right. Here's the thing. The Seattle Seahawks have been doing something to teams that is very, very hard to do. 292 points. That's the number of points that they have allowed this season. That's 17. 17 per game across a 17-game season. It's nice. It's nice, when things like things really just divide nice and easy like that. Meanwhile, 483 points is what they've put up. But the Patriots, they've got a good defense too, and they've put up 490 points. So the question is, something's got to give here, and I don't think it's going to be the Seattle defense. The Seattle defense has had to go up against far better offenses than the Patriots have had to. And hey, schedule is what it is. You can only face the competition that the NFL puts in front of you. But this team operates off of something really, really incredible. It's kind of nice to see. It's an old school kind of play style, even with the Clint Kubiak kind of up-tempo offense that you see in the NFL today. They are a ball control offense. And even with the loss of Zach Charbonnet for the season, Kenneth Walker by himself has run roughshod over defensive lines throughout the course of the season, and then especially in the playoffs. I think that there's a really the question is, can the Seattle offense overcome the New England defense? Because the New England defense is fourth in points allowed. You and I have talked about this. It's going to come down to Kenneth Walker, and it's going to come down to JSN. But I think more importantly, it's going to come down to the AJ Barners of the world. Because if Clint Kubiak uses that Shanahan outside zone run scheme, and you stretch the New England interior defensive line, it doesn't, like, even if they pull Barmore for a player, they have to pull Spillane for a play. Even if both of them are there, it doesn't. You don't have to run through the middle. That's the key. If you can avoid the strengths of this New England defense, that's how you beat them. You got to run around in that sense. And you've got one of the best shifty backs in Kenneth Walker, one of the best guys able to accelerate. Like, he's not a Jahmyr Gibbs, but he's really good. Like, he's really up there. The problem is going to be who's going to be spelling him, right? And that, I think, is where it's going to be a little bit of a weakness, and that's where Seattle has to start opening up that passing game. A lot, especially in the Niners game, like, they really relied on the run, but like they could, because the Niners were just so banged up that they could not stop K9. And then on offense, the Niners could not put up enough of a fight. They had to keep punting. This is where guys like AJ Barner come into play, because yes, it's going to be the all 22 footage is going to be a DB coach's wet dream and a wide receiver coach's wet dream between Gonzo and JSN. But where AJ Barner comes into play, where Rashid Shaheed comes into play, I really like the middle passing game for Seattle. And I think that they got to take advantage of that with Kenneth Walker, a great pass catching back, and take advantage of that with AJ Barner as well. And Barner's shown the ability to break off a long run as well once the ball's in his hands, if he's in space. And that's going to be on Kubiak. Like, yes, it's sort of like a foregone conclusion that he is going to be the Raiders head coach. But if there was ever a chance to audition, one final audition, I mean, this is it. Like, technically, there's the ability to really cement yourself as the guy and have a lot of the talk be on you with the first overall pick and all that kind of fun stuff going into this offseason if you leave Seattle with a ring. But let's turn to the Seattle defense, or turn back to the Seattle defense. This, like, they're like three safety high look, the big, like, it's big, it's a big nickel look in essence. It's really cool. It's really cool to see, because like it's sort of similar to what the Legion of Boom used to do, in that they don't need to change out of things a lot. They have players that are very versatile. Between Devin Witherspoon, between Nick Emilwari, they have a really strong core, but then also up front, they have the ability to really disrupt. But I like what you were saying. I like what you were saying about TreVeyon Henderson. That is for sure a weak point, in that if the Patriots can get TreVeyon Henderson into space, he has that breakneck speed. He's fast. I think he's faster than K9. K9 is like a little bit more of a plotter than TreVeyon. A lot of this comes down to the fact that we struggle as analysts or as commentators or whatever you want to call it. We struggle to see who is making plays for the Patriots outside of like Stephon Diggs. It's recently been Kayshon Boutte, and Hunter Henry's there. But like Pop Douglas shows up for 2 catches and Mac Hollins shows up for 2 catches. That's not going to get the job done against a Seattle defense that's going to be able to stymie Stephon Diggs. And they're trying to use Diggs more as that intermediate route guy in the like sort of like a, I don't want to say poor man's sun god, but like they're trying to have Douglas and Boutte be those field stretchers because Diggs is just getting older. I don't know if they have that ability. Realistically, the way they're going to have to play this game is, can you stop Drake May's legs? That's the key, the other key to stopping this Patriots offense, because we can look at that Denver game as a great example. Denver had, and sure, the snow got involved, but like Denver had stopped the passing attack for the Patriots. They stopped it. But what allowed the Patriots to win was Drake May's ability to run and pick up the pace of the ball with his legs when opportunity struck. And that's good decision making. Like, credit where it's due. I think that their safeties, I think Emanwari, I think that they're going to have the ability to bring them down, slam down, crush down, and just do a little bit more of QB contain. And that's where I think Drake May is going to try to have that opportunity to get the ball out of his hands fast. But this defense is just too smothering. It's going to be hard for me to pick both. I mean, obviously I was assigned the Seahawks, but once we finish this exercise, it's going to be hard for me to pick the Patriots in this one, simply because of how good the Seattle defense is. I think Seattle can win this. I think it's going to be a close game. I can see something like a 21-17, because I respect both of these offenses enough to be able to find ways to score on the defenses. But I also think it's going to be close enough where I think if you take because 21-17 will be, you take the under, but I think this is a one where Seattle can win, and they can win pretty handily, where like that last touchdown to get to 17 is one of those like fourth quarters they're trying to make a comeback. I think Seattle can control this game and sort of run away with it if they can trust Kenneth Walker to be able to get around that New England line. And that's my case.
Okay. Good case.
For Seattle.
Good case.
So how you feel? How you feeling with this?
Man, it was hard getting the Patriots because I don't think they have a shot in hell winning this game. I have the Seahawks winning. They're getting the second Super Bowl championship. Like, this is how I think the game's going to go, and this is actually my favorite bet. Patriots win the first half. Seahawks win the game. I think the first half is going to be a slow slogging. It's going to be like, is this a Super Bowl? Collinsworth is cranky. Game's not as fun. Drake May is a second-year quarterback entering the Super Bowl. It's going to be a lot of jitters for him there and stuff. And then I think Seattle, they're going to be stuck in their ways. And as the run gets stuffed a couple times, and then as Kubiak tries to make adjustments during the game, then what I think will happen is I think the Patriots, they will win the toss. And the Seahawks will win the toss. They'll defer. Patriots get the ball to start the first half. Then second half onwards is just all Seattle. Like, Seattle wakes up, big play to JSN or a big Kenneth Walker run. And then from there on forth, it is just like, okay, can Drake May get a chance to come back? Will Drake May, like Drake May will have moments where it's like, oh, he can lead a comeback, but then Seattle's defense will wake up, sack him, force a turnover, make it hard on him.
I respect the Patriots special teams, but like, you could see a world where Shaheed just break, not necessarily a fucking punt or a kickoff touchdown, but you can see a world where he gets them down where they're already in field goal range.
Yeah, exactly. And their kicker's really good, and their kicker's good too. Their kicker don't miss. So that's the way I look at it. And then also too, the Seahawks, one thing, like, it is kind of an advantage for them. It's like they're used to playing on this turf. Like, they go to this stadium pretty often, Santa Clara. Like, this is a familiar territory to them. They're like, okay, we know this area. Travel's not as bad compared to New England. You know, they know about this. Like, a lot of these New England Patriot players, like, a lot of them are younger. You know, it's going to be, the lights may be a little bit too bright. And then, like, you know, Sam Darnold, he's going to have like a Joe Flacco moment where he's just like looks really good. And we're just like, oh my God, Sam Darnold, is he a top 5 quarterback? Like, and then we start questioning and then we're confused how he won a ring before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And then we're just like, oh, what the heck is going on over here? Sam Darnold, the universe. And who knows? We might have another pandemic after Sam Darnold wins a Super Bowl. Like, it could be very possible. I'm not making this up.
Don't put that in the air, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying it is possible. But I just think the Seahawks, like, they'll just wake up in the third and fourth quarter, and it'll just be an ass-kicking Super Bowl after that. But I think the first half will be a slow slogging, this is not a fun Super Bowl. Your aunt is like, who's the halftime show again? And then you have to say it's Bad Bunny. And then she's just like, Bad who? Who's Bad Bunny? And then once Bad Bunny starts speaking Spanish, she just doesn't understand. And then you're just like, yeah, he's a great artist, Bad Bunny and stuff. And then if you're a wrestling fan, you'd be like, he wrestled a match in WWE, San Juan Puerto Rican street fight, and your family would be like, really? And then you're like, yeah.
So we'll watch that
cool.
after this.
Yeah, we can watch it on. It's on. Oh no, it's not on Peacock anymore. They got rid of those, but it was on the cock and stuff. But yeah, no. Yeah, I just think the Seahawks win this game. I don't see a world where the Patriots win. I mean, I am a big believer in, the Patriots, things haven't gone their way lately. Belichick not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Drake May gets screwed out of the MVP. Franchise Patriot Hall of Famer, all-time Patriot, great Tom Brady saying, I have no dog in this race. I just want a good game. I mean, everything is telling you. And we know it's the Patriots. Like, I don't care who's that quarterback. It's the Patriots. They're one of the blue bloods of the NFL. Like, it's like one of the, like they're not a blue blood in the sense of the Steelers or the Packers, but, see, let's be real. Seattle got screwed by Pittsburgh in that one Super Bowl. The refs were not calling that game fair for Seattle at all. I know we have many Steelers fans that we know, but call spade a spade here. The refs were not calling shit in that game for Seattle. And if there's one team, let's be real, any other franchise, people would be pissed. But since it's the Seahawks, no one cares. Everyone forgot about that. They're just like, oh, yeah, that's Big Ben's first Super Bowl. The bus, he won a ring. Yeah. We just forget the fact Seattle got robbed of that Super Bowl. The refs were just throwing shit willy-nilly and stuff, like didn't care. And I could see that happening here. I could totally see that happening here. And I could totally see the Patriots getting in a Super Bowl, and we cement Vrabel as the new Belichick, Drake May as the new Brady. I can see that.
Did you see they asked, speaking of former Seattle Super Bowls, did you see they asked Mike McDonald, like, if he was quite, like, down to the exact, like, time and all that kind of stuff? They asked him if he was in the same position Pete Carroll had been in, would he have thrown the ball or run the ball? And he just, but he was hilarious. Did you see it? Like, his response was hilarious. He just goes, "Do I have beast mode on the team?" Like that was like, obviously the answer is yes. I'm running the ball.
Yeah, yeah. That right there is the biggest. The Jermaine Kearse catch that we just totally forget happened, where it was like one of the greatest Super Bowl catches of all time, and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter because the Seahawks end up losing the game. They decided to throw the ball and stuff, and we hear about it, how Malcolm Butler practiced that every day. Yeah, we get it. We know Patriots won that Super Bowl. It's okay. Brady got the new dynasty started. So I can see it, where if there's any team where the league's like, does it matter? Does it matter? Like, can we just tell the refs, hey, you have to help the Pats out a little bit? Like, come on. There's a chance. And who's going to be pissed for you're going to be pissed for the Seahawks for 24 hours and then just move on with your life. You're like, man, that sucked. Oh,
I'm already like, I would love to get to the NFL Combine. Like,
right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm already at, like, there's not that many great names in free agency. I just want to know, like, does Denver re-sign people? And then I'm looking forward to the Combine. Like, that, I'm already in Combine mode.
I'm more like, which 5'9", 99 speed wide receiver is Mike McDaniel want on my team? Like, and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm there. I'm not even thinking about, like, how that. But that's what I'm saying. We won't care if the Seahawks get screwed, which is sad. But if it was any other franchise, we would be kind of upset. If it was a franchise with some history to it.
We can argue for sure that the Patriots are absolutely playing with house money. But realistically, like, I think Seattle needs to win this game.
Yeah, no, they have to.
Because in the NFC, you don't know who's going to make it back to the dance.
Yeah.
And the Patriots are playing with house money, but more importantly, you're going to lose Clint Kubiak in a couple days. Like, in like 3 days. You're losing Kubiak.
And this is going to be Mike McDonald's problem for the rest of his coaching career, because he's a great head coach, but then he's going to have an OC that's going to kick ass, and then that OC is going to either get promoted to a head coach or go somewhere else.
The question there is, was Kubiak part of the reason for the Darnold success. Like I agree that KOC did a lot to do a reclamation project of Sam Darnold.
What
really
about
made him
Kyle? You're not giving Kyle credit, John. How dare you?
And so did Kyle. But like keeping him even keel was a Clint Kubiak job, and making sure that that offense worked well with Darnold's strengths and his weaknesses was a Clint Kubiak job. The guy who comes after him, we don't know if that person's going to be able to pull this off.
Yep.
And as I was talking about in the intro, this was a division where there were 3 heavyweight contenders, any one of whom could have been the number 1 seed.
Yep, and
there was
the NFC,
even the banged up Niners, like they wouldn't have done much more than likely, but they would have been the number 1 seed. They would have had the home game.
Yeah, so the NFC is full of killers. You have Detroit that didn't make the playoffs. Eagles are going to come back. You know that. Dallas, you never know what you're going to get with Dallas, but Dallas could come back and do well too. You know,
the Commanders as well.
Yeah, Commanders. Heck, maybe John Harbaugh figures something out year 1 with Giants, and then with the schedule they have to go against, which is going to be an easy ass schedule again.
He wins those. A lot of people are shitting on the Giants for being terrible, but like let's also remind ourselves that a lot of these games, a lot of those games for the Giants this year were played without Malik Neighbors. Now, granted, whether he's back to 100%, whether it's going to take him a couple weeks to fully get back, like maybe he's not back till half the season, but that means the other half of the season they're going to have a full Malik Neighbors, and they could easily draft one of these stud wide receivers in the draft. They have
because the Patriots, like they have a great chance of winning the East again or making the wild card in the AFC. Yeah. It's like really like the only competition that you have in the AFC side of things as of right now are the AFC West teams like the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos. Those are your competition in terms of wild card. What random AFC South team is going to wake up and be good? And AFC North, heck, if they're all back at full strength, and Cleveland with that good defense, maybe Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders with the coach that finally believes in him and doesn't hold him back. Maybe you see something out of them. So it's like you have the AFC North teams, the West teams, and stuff, and then like it's not really that big of a competition gap. Where with the NFC, it's just like there's 3 teams in the NFC West that can definitely make it. There's 3 teams in the NFC East that you feel good about. There's 4 teams in the NFC North that is just like a hard division, and they just kick each other's ass. So it makes it look like those teams are bad, but they're not. They just play in a tough division. There's 4 teams in the NFC North, and then the NFC South. Yeah, it's the division, but if Tampa figures something out, Carolina seems like they're on a good trend. Maybe Kevin Stefanski figures something out with Atlanta. Like that's the only division, but then it's like but the thing is, they get an automatic spot. Whoever wins the South, you got to compete with the wild card with your NFC West rivals, those NFC North teams we talked about, and 3 out of the 4 of the NFC East. And we don't know what the Giants. Maybe it's 4 out of 4 of the NFC East. It's tough.
Not for nothing. The Panthers did pretty damn well against the Rams in that play.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like the Panthers look doing well.
Like that loss was one of those classic guy that we knew was going to loses a match, and then Michael Cole says something like, "Take nothing away from this guy in the loss."
Yeah, take nothing away from Bryce Young tonight. He gave it his all against Gunther. And
he put the champ to the limit, like one of those guys, right? Like that's kind of what that felt like. And you really, if you are a Panthers fan, you really were looking at that going, we took steps forward. Mm-hmm. That was it. So it could easily be a situation where it's the Panthers win the division again, and it's Tampa Bay trying to fight for a wild card spot.
Yeah, exactly. And they probably won't have the record to fight for the wild card spot because it's NFC South. So who cares? We'll have another goofy tiebreaker. This time it's for 6-10. Which 6-10 NFC South team will represent the playoffs?
Ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, this is a from the perspective of the 2 teams and the crossroads that they are at in Santa Clara and day after tomorrow, it is a really, really fascinating way to see like where these 2 franchises, the direction that they could go. Because to your point, like the Patriots could like they could be back here or they could never be back here.
Mm-hmm.
For the Seahawks, it's very possible you were never back here.
Yeah,
Very possible.
like 10% chance they make it back. Patriots have like a 30% chance, like much better chance than the Seahawks, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the Seahawks definitely will, but I wouldn't be surprised if the league makes a call, be like, no, we gotta push Drake May. We gotta make sure he's in the new commercials. And Pat's like,
Hey man, he ain't seeing my State Farm commercials now. Get that schedule out of there, man. It's on my league.
and the first Patriots and Chiefs matchup, they're just gonna be like, do the AFC West play the East this year? I think. Don't we play the East this year? It's our turn to play the East, I think.
Give me 1 second. I'll let you know.
I feel like the AFC West is playing the East again. We haven't played them in a while.
Denver Broncos.
I know we played the NFC West this year.
Okay. So, conference opponents, AFC East.
Yeah. Because I figure because there's one game on because I'm a Chargers season ticket holder for anyone who doesn't know. One game in particular has is worth the selling value compared to all my other tickets. So I'm guessing it's the Bills or the Dolphins because I didn't check which one was the home game. I was too lazy to check. And because I can see Buffalo fans wanting to travel here, and then I can see, and we have like a big Dolphins like little contingent here and stuff. So what?
Buffalo has to come to Denver again.
The scene of the crime, Jim. Here we go.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, can Josh Allen erase some demons? And he will in the regular season, just not in the postseason. so if Sam Darnold wins a ring, John, does it hurt the legacy of Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson more?
Ooh, that is a fact.
Which person's legacy gets hurt a little bit more between the two?
I think the easy answer is Josh Allen.
That's my answer.
But
this was kind of his Super Bowl. This should be the
Josh Allen. Was his Super Bowl. This kind of was his Super Bowl. But I think, honestly, I think it could be Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
They make the playoffs this year, yeah? That injured this year.
Yeah, because like they keep, like you can make the argument that Josh has trouble in the playoffs. But you can also, one, say that about Lamar, and then two, Josh is at least getting to the dance. Like that's what I was leading off with in the beginning of this, right? I was like, all you have to do is get to the dance, and Lamar couldn't even hit a team to the dance. Like that's crushing. That is super duper crushing. And on top of that, like you've got to play if you're the Bills, you're gonna have to face the Patriots 2 times a year. But like if you're the Ravens, you're going to have to face the Steelers and the Bengals and the Browns 2 times a year. And those AFC North games they're some of the most heavily contested games. Like the only argument I could probably see is the NFC West, but like those turn into like shootouts.
Yeah.
Those teams, like for whatever reason, like the Cardinals could be terrible, like dog shit terrible, but somehow they'll put up like 30 points against the Rams or 30 points against the, and it's like a back and forth shootout. With the AFC North, those games are so tightly contested that it's a very slight advantage as to why a team might win. In some instances, it really just is home field advantage. If you're the Ravens, you're looking at this going, we really had this, like we had the opportunity because all they had to do was win the division. They didn't have to do like a crazy amount. Yep. And they lost it just off of Tyler Loop missing a field goal. Like that was the thing. And it's like, like I guess maybe it's more about the team itself, but like the argument there is if you're Lamar Jackson and you're the superstar and you're the guy, get them in the fucking playoffs. Like, you can say to Josh Allen, you didn't win the division, but he got the team in the playoffs. He did what he was supposed to do to get them to the dance. Now, it just so happens that in the game against Denver, the part of the big reason why he loses is his defense let him down. His defense allows Bo Nix to have those pass interference penalties. His defense allows the Broncos to really be in that game. That's less on Josh Allen and more on the defense, but they got to the dance. Like this was a situation. That's why they didn't keep Sean McDermott and fired Joe Brady. They fired Sean McDermott and ended up elevating Joe Brady because it wasn't the offense. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it could be Lamar, especially because of what's going to happen with the Ravens. I am interested to see by going defensive head coach in Minter and how that offense is going to look going forward. That is something I think is going to be really, really super intriguing to see. That is a off season that I'm going to be paying attention to. Their draft, their free agent moves. I think they've got a lot.
Sign Linderbaum. Let Linderbaum come to the Chargers.
they've got a lot of people they got to re-sign.
Yeah.
They got, to your point, Tyler Linderbaum. They're gonna have to figure out what's gonna happen with
should be in powder blue next season, not in purple.
They got to figure out like Drummond Jones. They got to figure out former Charger Alohi Gilman. They got to figure. There's a lot. They're gonna
you trade for him. Might as well re-sign him.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna deal with like how many years left does Derrick Henry have? Like that was the goal. Like that was the thing, right? If you put the running back with the quarterback, and we don't know who is running the ball or who, like what's happening, you should be able to beat these teams, and they can't get the job done. But it's been a while since the Ravens were picking 14th overall. Like that's, at the end of the day, that kind of is.
I have two more questions. Well, one of them is wrestling related. If this was a WrestleMania WWE title match, and say Josh Allen was Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes got like kicked out of the tournament to become the number one contender or lost the qualifying match.
Wait. Like the last time they picked 14, they got Kyle Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then it was 25, 22, 30, 27. So but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So you're saying.
So Josh Allen's Cody Rhodes. What is this? What is this in a WrestleMania? What is this WWE title match between the Seahawks and Patriots? What two WWE superstars are going at? Because we don't have Cody going for the title. That'd be Josh Allen.
Gotcha.
But who is Drake May? Who is Sam Darnold? If this was a WrestleMania WWE title match,
I would say that Seattle is. I want to say like a Braun Breaker or a Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
In that they're super dominant, but like that Achilles heel of will Sam Darnold be an idiot? Both Jacob and Braun Breaker have moments where they are idiots.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Fatu does dumb shit. Like, for example, Fatu being dumb is how Cody Rhodes lost the title. Braun Breaker being dumb is how he gets himself sometimes. He overextends himself and puts himself in bad positions.
Okay.
The Patriots playing with house money, sort of not supposed to be here. Rookie, very young group of people. I want to say like it could be. Like for some reason, I think Javon Evans or Trick Williams.
Yeah, a Trick Williams. I like that better.
Yeah, or maybe like a Carmelo, Boston, Carmelo Hayes. That feels like it could be because actually Carmelo probably works the best. Boston area. He won the U.S. title, so that's them winning the division. And now he's potentially, going for the world title. Like maybe like a mellow.
So the NFL book Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. What a terrible booking by the NFL here. Take the pen from Goodell. Mike
who would you say it is? They are.
I was gonna say Carmelo or Trick for the New England Patriots. For the Seahawks, I'm more of like they've always been mid-carders, but they somehow became main eventers, like just randomly and stuff. So they're more like LA Knight, where they're just like, they've been mid-carders, but then some just injuries happen to people, and they're like, well, we got to put LA Knight in the main event. Like we can't hold this guy back any longer. So like that's where I view Seattle, like Ziggler, Matt Cardona, like mid-carders that somehow made the main event. And you're just like, oh, okay. They're in the main event, like so. Mine's even worse. Like Trick Williams versus LA Knight. Like, like what are we doing here? Like Trick Williams, Drake May, fun, sexy.
What's interesting is I could see an argument if we really like kind of drill down into it. I could see an argument that Seattle is Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre won a championship back in
Yeah.
the day, similar to them winning a title back in the day. Then he got stymied. He couldn't get the title back. Then he went into like a little bit of a Factory of Sadness thing.
Mhm.
And now he propelled himself thanks to a really great feud with Punk. He propelled himself back into being a bona fide main eventer. And but like it doesn't feel out of place. That's
Yeah.
Seattle doesn't feel out of place. Like sure, there's Darnold, but like the rest of it doesn't feel out of place.
See, the 49ers are more like Drew McIntyre to me. Like, it's just like, yeah, we remember when you won the title, but it's been a while since you won the title, buddy. Like, we need you to win the title again to prove it. While the Seahawks, it's just, they've always felt like upper mid Carters, like, oh, could this guy become champ? Yeah, and then it's
all the Niner injuries is the bloodline screwing over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Drew McIntyre's just like, I can't catch a fucking break. Like, what do I have to do in this situation? Like, that's how I view it. Where it's like the Seattle Seahawks always have been like reliable upper mid Carters. Yeah, maybe it's like this is a realm where LA Knight has one title, but it's like a Kane title reign. Like he held it for one day and then lost it and stuff. And it's just like, okay, whatever, it's fine.
Speaking of WrestleMania main events,
I'll have to see. Zebros no more.
Yeah, Zebro. Yeah, leave the memories alone.
Yeah. Wait, did you see Netflix cut that from the replay? So like Roman Reigns, like, you were mind washing me and my cousins. You even almost brainwashed me. What did we say after we shake hands after Survivor Series? Zebros or some stupid shit. They cut that from the thing. So he doesn't even mention the brainwashing. He goes, and then at Survivor Series, when we're walking up the ramp and you were holding up the belt, mocking me like I was some young boy. You can tell how many times I watched that promo where I can just get it word for word.
Here's my thing. And it's not a knock against Roman per se, but like I understand Roman's frustrations. However, one, it feels a lot like it's just something Seth Rollins has been saying this whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my part of my issue with it. So you know how like back in the day people would
I just think the messenger is correct. It's like what SP3's been SP3 said it on the Raw review and stuff and whatnot and what other people have been saying, like it's the correct messenger finally saying it. Where Seth Rollins, it's like more like when you're making fun of the company I worked for.
I think it would have had more power if they had waited until Roman, like until it was coming from Roman, because like Seth's argument was strong, but like Seth wasn't really the guy that Punk threw under the bus.
Yeah.
And more importantly, like, but then there's the other thing. I feel bad for Roman because it's like, yeah, he did throw you under the bus, but at the same time, that was supposed to be it should have been, and also the fan reaction should have been the wake-up call for Vince to stop pushing you that way. Ultimately, it's Vince's fault for continuing to push you when the crowd turned against you. Like in a way, like I feel bad for Roman, but it's like, I mean, Punk may have been out of line saying it on the podcast, but like really it's Vince's fault for continuing to do this to you. You should be more upset at Vince than you should be at Punk.
Yeah, no, I think Roman mentioned making my job harder than it had to be, which is true because like I can't tell you how many IWC nerds were just like using that make Roman look strong. Like they brought that up like it was just like it was really like the one thing, like we gotta make sure Roman looks strong, gotta make sure the big dog looks strong. So it's like I can see it like where Roman's like upset at CM Punk because Punk, really made his job a lot more harder than it needed to be. He was just to being the good soldier following directive. Like he was just like, he didn't have like the moxie at that time. He was like because Roman Reigns had no confidence at that time. Dude was out of shape, wearing blue contacts, didn't have the veneers.
Suffering
succotash son. Telling Big Show he was going to build a beanstalk and punch him in the mouth. Like that promo lives in my. No one talks about that promo. That promo's in my head of like infant. And then especially like where he's like stuttering with John and then John Cena just cuts him off. Call a promo, kid. You got to learn how to cut one if you want to make it. And it's like, Jesus, dude, like this guy ain't going to make it. And now seeing him toe to toe with CM Punk, splashing the veneers, skinny now, not wearing the blue contacts, like it's a different human being that's in that.
I will say this. if this was 2026 Roman Reigns doing this promo back and forth with like 2011 or 2012 CM Punk, he's getting eviscerated. I don't give it. All due respect to Roman Reigns and all that kind of stuff. Punk was a different animal back then. Like Punk was going toe to toe with The Rock and making The Rock look silly.
Yeah, I think Punk will have one. I think he'll win one promo exchange against Roman. He'll tap in.
There's only gonna be like one, maybe two more.
Roman will show up for the Marches episodes. He won't show up for this whole month. That's it. We're done. Roman Reigns.
Speaking of like Roman being mad that like Punk threw him under the bus. Look at what he fucking just did to Finn Balor. Nobody expects Finn Balor to win shit anymore. I mean, to be fair, nobody expected him to win prior. But you could at least have hope. You could at least be like, maybe there's a chance it'll be Finn Balor who beats CM Punk in Chicago.
I love Roman Reigns like, Finn Balor? You over here in my ring talking about Finn Balor? Like he's like all confused. It makes it even funnier because back when Roman started as the tribal chief character on SmackDown, Finn Balor was like the one guy who was like, oh, I don't want to face John Cena. I want to face Finn Balor. You're a real star. You're this. You're everything I want to feud against. And then John Cena stole there. That's how John Cena got the SummerSlam match.
Right.
Yeah, and they feuded with Finn Balor. So that's why I find it funny that Roman's like disrespecting Finn Balor when it was like, weren't you the same guy? Like,
I will say the way both of them were like, Drew's a bitch. The way both of them were just
they made. I heard Cody cut a really bad promo tonight. I got to see it. And stuff.
They were talking about.
He said that it's going to be a something measuring contest. Well, they don't call me Raheem for nothing and stuff. So he said that's what Cody said. And he did it in his like, not in like a normal voice. He's like, I heard they're going to be calling it a something measuring contest. Well, they don't call my nickname Raheem for nothing. South Carolina, what do you want to talk about? And then you got all like amped up, like Cody. And then they're like, Cody.
Did you see what, I mean, it's Dave Meltzer, but like, did you see what his report was about the injuries and how that changed the plans?
Yeah, no, it was pretty obvious.
When they were first talking about Chamber was going to be in Chicago, I wanted Punk to win I didn't want him to win the title at all until WrestleMania. I wanted him to win the Chamber. I wanted him to face Cody. I wanted Cody, Punk, boom.
Well, because they've been building, like, just saying, like, Triple H sucks at telling stories, but the one story that he's been constantly, like, planting the seeds that it's going to happen was Cody and Punk. Yeah, because the Royal Rumble before, like, and stuff like that, it was Cody and Punk. That was the final promo, and you're like, "Ooh, this would be interesting if these two ever mixed up." Yeah. And then it was the Royal Rumble. It was the Royal Rumble when Cody was champ, and then CM Punk says, "I'm not going to be the friend that stabs you in the back. I'm going to be the friend that stabs you in the front and stuff, and take that title from you." And then you're like, "Oh," and that helped Punk's chances of, he could win the Rumble. Like, CM Punk could win the Rumble and face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania and stuff like. It made Punk into like a favorite because, like, why would he cut a promo like that on the champion if he wasn't going to be a favorite to win the Rumble, Right. So they've been planting the seeds for Punk and Cody for quite some time. And, the plans change and, Roman wants to face Cody and then, Cody and Big Nose, they conspired against my tribal chief. And good luck having Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, brothers. Like, how bad that feud is that they're thinking, we got to add Jacob Fatu to make it somewhat interesting, maybe.
That's what I was going to say. Like with Fatu in there, it is a little bit more.
No, but if they do Cody and Drew again, like how the fuck are you going to go from 3 stages of hell and then like, all right, here's a normal match at WrestleMania, guys? Like, what? Like these guys were having Falls Count Anywhere matches, 3 stages of hell, and then we're just supposed to get a regular like grudge match at WrestleMania, like. That the math's not mathing there, buddy.
Yeah.
And they can't do unsanctioned because if it's unsanctioned, then it can't be for the title because like it's an unsanctioned match.
The other thing is that they sort of booked themselves into the corner of if you tried to get somebody else to face Drew, you have to come up with something for Cody to do. Like meaning to say, you can't run an injury angle. You can't run an injury angle that removed. Like if it was a different pay-per-view. Like if it was Backlash or
remove Cody for a month.
You could do he gets taken out and then is for argument's sake, Fatu Drew 1-on-1. You could do that. But you can't do that for Mania because that means Cody doesn't appear at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then I hear all these people saying have Cody face Randy. Like, oh, I don't want to see. What is your fascination with Cody and Randy, guys? Like, stop.
I mean, I do want to see that. I do.
Yeah, not right now. Like Randy's barely on TV to make a heel turn work, and then we're just gonna force a heel turn so quickly on Randy, like just so that way, because Cody's not turning heel. Like, people need to get this out of their head. They're not turning Cody heel until like they can find the babyface to replace him. He's not going to turn heel
until they're sure that somebody between Fatu, Braun Breaker,
and
Mello, maybe Mello, has the crowd like solidly behind them.
Yeah.
There's no way. And so I think, you know, what I think is interesting about it is I think that the pressure that puts on a guy like Obafemi is a lot. Because if they can get Obafemi to be a really good monster heel, then they feel comfortable about turning Braun Breaker face.
He's not gonna turn. He's gonna be a face, bro. Like they tried in NXT and the fans love him. Like, they can't make this guy heel. Yeah. And NXT, they literally tried to make him a heel, and the fans just were like, who, oh, but like, you know how much this guy beat up on Javon Evans and no one booed him? Like they were just like, yeah, Oba retain. Like he's just too cool. Like, it's just Obafemi's too. And Javon Evans, you should think like if they ever upload the match again, watch their Heatwave match, and you should be like, oh, they should be booing the shit out of Obafemi. And then be like, nope, they like this guy and they like Javon Evans and they don't care that Obafemi was like the only time Obafemi was a heel when he first debuted against Wesley, and then he just turned it up a notch. And then it was after that takeover triple threat where it was him, Briggs, and Dijak, where they went crazy. Mm-hmm. That's when it was like, all right, people just want to cheer for Obafemi. Like, fuck it. They even like had him come out as a surprise entrant in the Iron Survivor, thinking he was gonna get booed, and then he got cheered out the fucking building, and then he won the damn thing, and fans were like, Oba, like, they love this guy. Obafemi is the man. Like, he's not gonna become a monster heel. There's no chance at him to become a heel. His best promo is when he won the title. His best promo was when he won the title, and he goes, I could come out here and I could say, I always believe that.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
But really, I never had to say that because I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, this guy's too cool.
Okay. I did see that.
It's like him and Trick. They can't be heels. Like, you can present Trick as a heel. Fans are going to still whoop that Trick, and they're going to love this guy.
Right. That's part of that. I think is, you know, an issue with Seth as a heel is that the crowd wants to do the whoa. They want to do the whoa thing during his song, and they want to do it afterwards. And it's tough to be a heel. Like, that just, as much as being a heel is easy in the sense that you just need to be an asshole and then insult the crowd and insult people and all that kind of shit. If the crowd, like, it is still difficult. Like, in order to get people to boo you because of how wrestling works, and it's a bit easier in WWE, to be fair. You have to do like heinous shit, and it's harder to do that if the crowd was singing your song as you walked out, and then once the song ended, they continued to sing your song. Mm-hmm. So like it does force you into an uphill battle, and Seth is thankfully one of those guys that was put on earth to be a heel.
Yeah,
he was put on earth to be a bad guy, similar to one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, The Miz, put on earth to be an asshole, and it works for him. And that's part of why I like him, is because you need to have people who are like that. It's the same way like Kevin Owens, to me, should always be a heel.
Yeah, babyface Owens doesn't work.
Babyface Owens is like, okay, you're a prize fighter and you're fighting for the prize. Okay, cool. Like, all right. But like Kevin Owens on the microphone when he's a heel is a terrible human being. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I want this person to get his ass handed to them.
Yeah, so, back to some Super Bowl thing. I will mention one last thing with wrestling for Super Bowl Radio Row. It made me so sad seeing Seth Rollins standing next to MJF. I love MJF. He looked like such a mid-Carter standing next to him. Yeah. I was just like, damn, my dog MJF. He looked like a mid-Carter next to Seth. And then his own teammate Kyle Fletcher said, forgot the lifts. I was like, no, what are we doing?
Hey, yo,
I felt so bad for MJF. Like, And that made me think, man, I can only imagine a promo with MJF and Roman just like eviscerates him and stuff. I'm like, yeah, like, look, Seth Rollins to me is like, yes, he's a main eventer, but he's always been upper main eventer to me and stuff. Like, and I gauge wrestlers like when they are next to Seth Rollins, I gauge them and say, yeah, he's a main eventer, or nah, he looks like a mid carder next. If you look like a mid carder next to Seth, you're a mid carder to me. Like, that's it.
I see what you're saying.
MJF just looked totally like a mid carder.
I mean, that is a potential WrestleMania 2029.
No, he's all elite. Maybe all out match, all in. Maybe a potential all in.
I can't see Seth leaving.
Yeah, we're gonna see Tyler Black again. Coach Mike McDonald, John. If he wins the Super Bowl, he becomes a top what coach? Top 5, top 10.
All right, so here's
top 3.
Because we just had a lot of shuffling, right? Like, what's his name?
You can still say Harbaugh's a top 10 coach, even if he's
no, not even Harbaugh. Why am I forgetting his name? Holy moly! Steelers.
The Steelers coach?
Tomlin. Like, Tomlin has been removed, right, from the pool.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's been a lot of shuffling to figure to see. So let me see. Harbaugh, Peyton, Reed, Shanahan,
Vrabel,
KOC, Ben Johnson. I don't know if it's I still feel it's a little early for Ben Johnson.
Dan Campbell.
Campbell's falling to me, man.
So Campbell's falling. Okay.
Campbell's falling. Like, you can't just keep doing the same nonsense you've been doing.
What do you mean I can't, John? I can do whatever. You can do Applebee's menu.
Like, Liam Cohen's on the rise too, but like, again, similar to Ben Johnson. Early. Yeah, I would say, I want to say probably like top.
Well, don't forget Sirianni. Don't forget about Sirianni.
Yeah. Sirianni.
Most winningest head coach in like the first 3 years in NFL history.
I would say top 12.
Yeah, top 12.
Yeah.
Even with the Super Bowl win, you would just be top 12. Like, you would still have other coaches. I
mean, it's like right now, I would say the number 1 coach is Andy Reid.
Yeah, of course.
So Reid, then like it's some variation of Peyton, Harbaugh. Like, I'm not saying like in order. I'm just saying like for these top spots, Peyton, Harbaugh, KOC,
Vrabel,
Shanahan, McVay. I should have said McVay's name earlier.
You should have.
I mean, like, I'm not like ranking the McVay.
Yeah, you should put me number 2.
KOC,
Vrabel. We can't describe Vrabel, what he did in Tennessee and now here. So he'd be top 10 now.
Hold on.
He'd be like in the top 10 pool. McDonald.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, because DeMeco Ryans is really his only other competition, but like, he's made a Super Bowl. DeMeco Ryans hasn't.
Right. Yeah. Will
be the third coach.
I think there's been so much turnover that Mike McDonald, even honestly, Mike McDonald without a ring is pretty high up there.
Yeah, but with the ring, I think he moves up to like top 6. He's like a top 6 coach.
I mean, he would with a ring, he has to be above any coach that doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he's like a top 6.
Yeah,
like to me, it's Big Red, then it's McVay.
Yeah.
Then it's Peyton, John Harbaugh. Who's another coach? Oh, Sirianni, and then him, and then the other coaches we talked about. They're like,
nobody else has a ring, right? Yeah.
Jim doesn't have one.
Yeah. No other. Yeah, wow. No.
And
other.
KOC, we love the guy, but he doesn't have one.
Could you imagine there's a world where Justin Jefferson could not be on the Vikings?
I would love that world. Chargers should send all the draft picks for him.
Not if I get all of Denver's there first.
Just Justin's like, look, Mike, I know you have a cool offense scheme, but can you imagine what Justin Jefferson would it be? Dude, that'd be so sick, man. Like, let's run it. Hey, Jim, can I call the Vikings, get our draft pick? Yeah, sounds great. Awesome, man. Just Jefferson with Justin Herbert. It's like Justin and Justin. Can make t-shirts out of that. It might be a Super Bowl t-shirt. I could get you in the Hall of Fame, Justin. Yeah, Jim, I'm not thinking that far ahead. I just want to compliment wide receiver next to Lad McConkey. That's all I'm looking at here. Yeah, it'd be kind of sick.
You want to know what's wild? I was looking at this. You want to know what's wild? Did you know that for when it comes to credited drops, 2 on the season for Quentin Johnson?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
What a world.
It's come a long way. Wide receiver 3 for the
Cardinals. You know off the top of your head what he had last year?
6?
7.
Oh, okay. I knew. I thought he had 6. Like, because I remember there was 2 bad ones that I was just like, fucking old QJ's back. But then I remember 2 off the top of my head where I was just like, fuck.
He had 7. He had 7 in 2024.
Better than his rookie year. What his rookie year? Didn't he have 8 or 9?
No.
He had
3.
Oh, 3. Oh,
yeah. Which I thought was really interesting. Like from 3, and QJ wasn't considered to be that great. Then he all of a sudden goes up to 7. I was like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, the Packers game. He had 2 big drops and stuff. That's where people started to do the TV off song with thing instead of Kendrick going mustard. It was like, oh no, he's out there running routes. QJ! Turn the TV off. I can't watch his bum ass anymore. Turn this TV off. This guy can't catch a ball. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. And then people were doing the edits for QJ of him dropping every ball. It was the Packers game where he just dropped that one pass, and then there was one he was running a drag route, and then he dropped it again, and I was just like, what the heck? This guy is just such a bum.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you go from the fact that you went from 3 to 7 is concerning, but if you then go from 7 to 2, I mean, maybe that's a competent guy to have across from Lad McConkey. They just got to use. They just got to throw more to Lad McConkey.
Yeah. I believe in Mike McDaniel, but yeah, Coach Mike McDonald.
I want to ask you,
become the 3rd under 40 head coach.
How do you feel about McDonald and someone like an Oronde Gadsden?
What do you mean?
How do you feel about McDonald's usage? Because he uses tight ends a lot, but
you mean McDaniel?
Yeah, sorry. What did I say?
McDonald.
Sorry.
That's why I was like, what is he going to trade us for?
With Gadsden.
I like it because he likes using his tight ends on screens. Gadsden is kind of fits the profile. The Dolphins were looking at Gadsden too. They were looking at him in the draft, and then the Chargers sniped him from the Dolphins. So I'm pretty sure he's happy to get a player that he'd put in a lot of time and effort in and stuff. The only thing is we definitely got to improve the fullback position. Scott Matlock, great story. Like the guy. I think you should have a roster spot for being a good locker room guy, but he can't be our fullback under Mike McDaniel's scheme because Mike McDaniel, he also uses fullbacks, just like look at Ingold. Ingold has random I think Ingold gets plenty of opportunities and touches as a fullback. So we just definitely need a more athletic fullback to use it. But yeah, no, I like it that Gadsden maybe get one more tight end, keep Disley around for the run blocking and stuff, but try to find one more tight end that's. No, I'm not saying Gadsden levels, but it's just stupid athletic that doesn't really do much besides he's athletic and he can catch and stuff. I'm sad that Kyle Pitts had the resurgence because it made it where it's great. Now Pitts is out of the because dude, Pitts sucked this year.
Let Atlanta overpay.
No, I know, but Pitts would have sucked this year. It would have been easier to get him.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I was hoping Pitts would just be Noah Fant 2.0, where it's just is this guy going to figure it out? Because in Madden, he's the greatest tight end of all time. How come we can't figure it out in real life?
Oh my god.
Noah Fant's the GOAT, man.
I have a not this year's Madden, not the 2025 Madden, but the 2024 Madden. I have a Falcons save, and good God, Penix to Kyle Pitts is amazing.
Yeah.
It feeds every family in the greater Atlanta area. But while we're here, and just before we head out, we will need to be getting to the Underwear Olympics for a lot of these things to change.
Yeah.
But the draft is shaping up really, really interesting if you are teams that need offensive skill position players.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out, like, some of this doesn't make sense because Tankathon is just, it is what it is. Like, they have Denver taking an interior offensive line, and I don't think they are going to be taking an interior.
Which one did they take you? Have you taken? Is it that Penn State kid?
No, Emmanuel Pregnan from Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
All right, you guys pick later. You guys are not going to get Sewell Mawa, whatever his name is. Vega Ioane.
Wait, say that again?
Vega Ioane, the Penn State kid.
I think they're saying that he's still available at that point.
Really, at 22? At your pick? 30?
Oh, no. Sorry.
No way.
He is going 22nd overall, according to Tankathon, to the Los Angeles Chargers.
I wouldn't mind that because he kind of fits with what McDaniels likes to run with those. Penn State likes to do a lot of options and screens, so he would kind of be a good interior offensive lineman for that.
But one of the things that I was, reason why I wanted to bring this up was there's like some report or whatever, and obviously a lot of these things are just nonsense reports, but like the argument here is that this team is doing this on purpose to create a smokescreen. The Jets saying that they're going to do their due diligence on Chambliss, Nussmeier, and Ty Simpson to potentially take one of them with the 16th overall pick. Now, there's an argument that this is just a smokescreen so that somebody takes one of them up above and one of those wide receivers falls to them. Like right now, because right now they're at 16, they're taking Mekhi Lemon. But at 11, you have Jordan Tyson going to the Dolphins, and you have Carnell Tate going to the Titans at 4. I don't think the Titans move out of 4.
No.
And they take Carnell Tate to pair up with Cam Ward. But like, if you're interested in Jordan Tyson, then maybe there's an argument. Like if you will try to potentially spook Miami a little bit to go, maybe we need to get one of these quarterbacks, or you're trying to spook one of these other teams to try to move up to get.
No, like, you're definitely trying to spook teams into thinking like, oh, are these guys better than we're thinking? Should we realign our scouting thing, like, and stuff? Yeah. Because like the wide receiver, like I feel like this draft could be like one of those where like the wide receivers, like you'll be shocked of how early they're going to go, and some guys that may have second round grades may go into the first round just because of the fact that, oh shit, we got to get this talent where it is and stuff. So that's like one of the things that where I look at it and I say, oh yeah, this could be like the Jets. They're doing the right thing with the 16th pick. Hey, throw the smoke screen out there. Say you want to get one of these quarterbacks, force Pittsburgh's hand, force Miami's hand into drafting, a quarterback. And even if you're not serious about it, pretend you are. Act like you are serious. Act like what. And once the combine happens, that's when you'll know. And it's not out of the realm of possibility. Guys rise up in the combine. They do.
I think they would have done this. I think there's a smaller chance that they do this if the NCAA had not denied Chambliss's 6th year of eligibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that just adds the number of quarterbacks, and so you're like, if you're one of those other teams, you're going, do I want to be stuck with Chambliss, or do I want to be stuck with Nussmeier, or do I want to be stuck with Ty Simpson if they take the guy that I'm looking at with the 6th overall? So
like, most teams have Simpson as QB2, but they're not saying like top 5 quarterback unless he wows in the combine.
Yeah, like right now, they have him going 21st overall to the Steelers.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Yeah,
you can see a world where that happens.
But if Nussmeier does good, and people are going to be like, hey, we did have a first round grade on him. Hey, we did do tape on him. Let's see. Maybe it was something with LSU. Maybe it was a scheme and stuff. Like, because look at guys like Zach Wilson, where he was not really like let's just be real. No glazing Zach Wilson like that. He showed out in the combine, and they were like, oh, it's the BYU scheme. Why he wasn't that good? But you saw what he did. Blah blah blah. And the intangibles. All it takes is for people to fall in love with the intangibles of a quarterback, and they say, "Oh, we can." Richardson didn't have that much game tape on him; it wasn't that impressive, and he was a 3rd overall pick. Carson Wentz came from a smaller school, and he put up a bunch of numbers at that smaller school, but people were wondering the competition, and then they saw him at the combine, and they said, "Oh, yeah, this guy is worthy of being one of the top 5 quarterbacks tickets." So you never know a quarterback. Quarterbacks is one of the more overvalued positions in the draft. I mean, look at the draft 2 years ago. Everyone just thought that the only quarterback that was going to be taken in the draft the three quarterbacks that would be taken in the first round were May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams. Penix, Nix, JJ, they all went. JJ got inflated to be in the first round, so people were like, okay, JJ will be the later out of them. But then all of a sudden, Penix got taken over JJ, and then Bo Nix gets taken in the middle of that draft, and so it's like 6 quarterbacks were taken in that first round. Like, we can go back to Cam Newton's year, where Cam Newton was the first quarterback taken, but then all these other random ass quarterbacks like freaking Jake Locker or Christian Ponder and shit were being taken. So that's what I'm saying. Like, teams will overvalue quarterbacks that they feel like, oh, maybe they know something we don't, and they'll compare notes and they'll talk to their scouting department. So very possible. It is very, very possible.
But we will know the final order. The final order of the draft for upcoming in May. We will know in a few short days. Chase, let the people know where they can find you, my good sir.
Yeah, you can follow me on X at ChaseOver68, Around the Point Network. When I show up there, I'm there to talk about the wrestling. And then sometimes on Trio Heat for the watch alongs and whenever SP3 needs a fill in and stuff. So, and then here on Trio Heat Sports Entertainment next week, we will be recapping Super Bowl. And then obviously talking about all the other coach hirings and whatnot and what else is going on. You know, there's going to be like a gajillion other stories. We'll announce that Kubiak is the Raiders head coach, and me and John are going to be depressed. There's Locks Mendoza, Ginty, and Brock Bowers, and we're just great.
It's terrible.
They have a competent coach, and Trey Tucker becomes like the best Tyreek Hill 2.0 somehow, and we're just like, what? How does this happen?
Well, you know, actually, that'll be a fun one. Next week, we will have, once they make the official announcement that Kubiak's the head coach, we'll have the conversation of who is the JSN on the Raiders offense.
Jack Betch. It's time.
The TCU one.
Year 2 Jack Betch. Watch out. Overdraft him in fantasy, folks. Former LSU legend. Former TCU legend.
And very soon, we are going to be starting up. First, we're going to do just a recap of season 1 of The Pit, and then we will be going episode by episode, doing recaps of the show. I think they'll be probably on episode 7 by the time we get around to doing episode 1 of season 2. But we'll be bringing those to you guys.
We'll be clocking in when it matters. Me and John will be helping.
Here's my idea. Here's my idea for a logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be a clock, and then like the clock is wearing a stethoscope.
I like it. Clocking into the pit.
Clocking into the pit.
Yeah, we clock in. We don't watch the pit. You clock into the pit.
It's fun. It's so fun, especially if you're on the Pit subreddit. Oh my god,
no.
I get to like turn the computer to Colleen and show her some of the questions because there legitimately was somebody who's going, "What is MedSurg?" And like after I've been involved with a nurse and a nurse family for almost 10 years. In December it'll be 9 years? It'll be 10. No, it'll be 10 years in December. Like, I know what MedSurg is. So it's just funny that people ask these questions, and people learn at their own pace and so on and so forth. So because there was somebody schooling me on some Bridgerton related.
Oh.
So yeah, because like people were saying something about the stepmother and the stepsisters being Chinese, and my first thought was, but aren't they supposed to be Korean, the same as Sophie in this season of Bridgerton? And somebody was like, well, no, if you look at the names, the way they changed the names from the book, they're Cantonese names. And I was like,
oh,
did not know that they were Cantonese names. Look at that. I learned something new today. So yeah, help people out. Teach them something if they don't know, and do it in a respectful way. You don't have to be an asshole all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But until next time, guys, remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Best of luck. I know Davion's popped out, but like, best of luck, Davion. You never know when your team's going to be in a Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl.
I'll never know.
They participated.
Yeah, I was like 1 year old.
Well, listen, they participated. But until next time, I don't know if I'm like, I don't know. On the one hand, am I happier that the Broncos run ended when it did, Or was I like, you know what? Another week of you just going, Stidham could do it. Stidham could do it. You never know. but I mean, I think even a Broncos team, even with Bo Nix, would have gotten not destroyed, but I think Seattle still wins the game. So until next time, guys, remember, take care of yourselves and each other, and we will catch you all later.